Frequent texting undermines literacy and quality formal writing. Do you recognize any of these abbreviations? How about these? If you're young, you probably do, but if you're me, you probably need some explanation. I have a question for you. Do you ever message friends like this? Let me know, because many people do. And though it's okay with friends, in my humble opinion, it's not okay in formal writing. Texting is encouraged by teachers these days because they think it encourages more frequent writing for our youth. It encourages their creativity because it's so free of rules. But the nature of the shortcuts and the textisms used in texting, they tend to carry over into situations they don't belong, like formal writing. I see poor examples every day in my job. Resumes coming across my desk, emails, reports that include lack of punctuation, capitalization, misspelled words, sometimes emojis in them, little smiley faces, just not appropriate in a professional setting. When you write like this in a formal setting or a professional setting, you lose credibility with your readers. We need to learn the proper skills for formal communication in order to succeed. DeJong and Kemp in 2012 determined that frequent use of textisms unfavorably related to reading and spelling mistakes. Singal and Sundar in 2012 saw that frequent use of textisms was negatively related to the way these adapted forms were transferred to regular English. People had misspelled words. Rosenchang, Irwin, Carrier, and Cheever in 2010 found that frequent texting related to a decline in formal writing skills of young American adults. The whole premise of texting revolves around the use of shortened forms of communication to get a point across quickly and with as few characters as possible. The DeJong and Kemp study in 2012 was of high school and college-age students. They found a negative correlation with textism use and reading, non-word reading, and spelling. They found that problem more with increased frequency of texting, and it raised a concern that textism use covered up literacy issues. Driver and Drown in 2012, they found that the amount of texties used was associated with spelling and reading issues. Negative literacy outcomes were connected to the use of certain types of textisms. The most common ones that they found a problem with were lack of apostrophes and capitalization. In a study published in 2012, Singal and Sundar determined that preteens may learn much through observation. They suggested that communication with friends and parents, especially parents, using textisms becomes the norm, especially when their parents respond with textisms. They referred to the low road theory of transfer of learning, where knowledge and skills, like textisms, become automatic with frequent use. They end up being transferred into other similar situations, more formal writing situations. So incorrectly spelled shortened forms of words, punctuation shortcuts, and lack of capitalization that they use, and the fact that their parents, who are credible sources, also use them in responding back to them, makes it appear that they're okay, and they become automatic to the children. So the problems we've encountered so far are literacy issues being covered up by the use of textisms and texties, the use of these becoming too automatic, and formal writing skills necessary for academics and professional life are suffering. Rosen and his group that were mentioned before concluded daily use of textisms had a negative effect on formal writing skills of young college adults. And although they found that informal writing skills got better, the creativity and the freedom of texting, they definitely found that formal writing suffered with that frequent use. They found that individuals who used textisms more frequently were more negatively affected. And this brings back the association between the use of textisms and the masking of literary problems. 2008, there was a huge study, a huge survey. It was called the Pew Internet and American Life Project. They polled teens around the nation and asked them questions. And the teens communicated back that they knew the importance of proper writing, and they knew the differences between the use of their electronic communications and the formal writing needed in academic work. According to that study, 86% said that they understood the importance of formal writing. 73% did not think that their texting affected their formal writing. However, When you look down more, 64% of those surveyed told them that they did use texting shortcuts in their papers and in their exams. So there's a little bit of confusion there. This is a crucial time in their lives. This is a problem. They're preparing for college and beyond. So how do we know how many of these students are masking literacy issues and how many just don't care? They're teenagers. More texting may lead to more writing, but at the expense of formal writing and the skills that are necessary for us to succeed in life. The increased use of texting, shortcuts, textisms, is unfavorably related to spelling mistakes, reading issues, decline of quality formal writing skills, and an increase in the number of youth with literacy issues that may fall through the cracks of our education system. It's a problem. Life is hard enough these days for people. We need to use every skill and resource available to get a leg up and to survive. We want that for our children too. So growing frequent use of textisms and texting, it's undermining literacy and the quality of formal writing. Our children will suffer if we don't step up and do something. We need to be vigilant with our children's education. It's okay for teachers to encourage texting in informal and creative writing situations as a means to an end. But they need to know that we expect our children to develop and to practice the tools they need to succeed. That includes proper grammar and formal writing. We don't want our children to fall through the cracks because of undetected literacy issues. We need to set an example for our youth. If we text our children, we need to avoid texting and textisms and shortcuts. We need to use proper English and proper grammar, and we need to insist that they respond the same way. Our children will live what they learn from us. Quality writing helps lead to quality life.